Hey guys, I'm Brad, and it's a beautiful day to make a wood storage rack. We're back out at the wood pile today with the goal of getting this thing up off the ground. Reason I'm videoing this is a very simple project, but I was looking online and just could not find any kind of just a good idea for an outdoor wood storage shelf. So that's what we're going to be going back to today. So we got our handy wood pile that we always come back to, and I want to show you something that we can make that's real sturdy out of some reclaimed wood. Really, a lot of 4x4s, old stuff. Of course, you can always go to Lowe's, get some new stuff, but a lot of times you can find this stuff around for free. So let's get at it. Alright, first and foremost, with this kind of a project, we're thinking strength and stability. Since we're going to be putting a whole bunch of wood on it, the wood pile, you know, could weigh, who knows, 500 pounds, whatever it is, and then a lot of moving around, taking wood on and off. So what we're going to do is notch out the wood like that so a 2x4 can fit in there to go across widthwise. This is going to be the width. So I cut the 4x4s to a length that I wanted the shelf. So that's going to be one shelf in the center and then one on the top. I'm going to notch it as well. The reason we do that is so that it doesn't have to hang on the shear strength of the screws. Most shelves that I saw were built that way, and it's not nearly as strong. The way we're going to strengthen up the side pieces between the two ends, we're going to put a 2x4, tack a 2x4 on where we lay the ends going sideways, and that it'll sit on that. I'll go over that in a bit. The way we notch this out, if you've never done that before, here's my other two legs for the other end of the shelf. Is I took my circular saw and just cut two lines. Drew a 3.5 inch difference. I took 24 inches up from the bottom, which is where my first shelf is going to be, and then 3.5 inch from there for the width of the 2x4 that's going to fit into there for that end of the shelf. And then in between, you can see I just real quickly all these squirrely cuts just to break it up, and then you can just take a some sort of crowbar, hammer, screwdriver, whatever you want to use, and break those out of there. You know, this isn't furniture. We're just trying to get it in there. So make it as nice as you want, and once you chip them all out, it should look like that. And the 2x4 should fit in there real nice. I made them just right on 3.5, so I'll have to tap it in. It'll be real tight. I'll still screw it in, but all the weight of the shelf will sit on the wood and go right down through it, and that could hold 100 or 1,000 pound, a lot of weight, a lot more than the shear strength of a screw. So here's the first leg of the shelf. I had two random 3x4s, so that's why it's popping up a little bit. I could have used a 2x4 there, and it would have been flush, but 3x4 is stronger, and I had it, so I chopped it in half, and I'll use that instead, since that's where all the wood is gonna sit on. The weight of the wood is gonna sit there, so I figured I'd use it. And it still is notched in, as you can see, so I did go down an inch and a half, which would have been the width of a 2x4. So that hangs out a little bit, but that's fine. I'll screw it in as well. And you can see how that just sat in there real nice. I actually had to hammer it in because it was so tight. Probably too tight, but either way, it's holding good now. It's real solid. You almost don't need to screw it in when it's that tight. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Go ahead and put this sucker in those notches, and then we'll start making the side pieces, and I'll show you how to make the shelf for that. Now we're going to do the same for the top shelf. I went ahead and took the circular saw and measured down from the top 3.5 inches for a 2x4, just like we did for the bottom, except for it'll actually be a 2x4 instead of a 4x3. So back over here on the top of the top shelf, set your blade at the depth of 1.5 inches for the 2x4. The reason you want to go too deep is just because you want the strength of the wood that's left. The top shelf doesn't matter as much. The middle shelf does matter because the only thing that's holding the rest of the weight on the top shelf is the wood that's left here, of course. So at this point, we're just going to take out those wood chips, cut a bunch of lines so it's easy at that depth. And what I'm going to use is just a small crowbar, and it cleans it up pretty good. Alright, this does not need to be pretty or smooth. It just needs to fit the 2x4 in there. And that is it. Create a little shelf for it. And for the 2x4 top shelf, bam, perfect. At this point, just laying the ends on their side, standing them up, and setting the sideboards across so I can drill them and screw them together. Notice the top one's a little bit shorter, just because the bottom one, which I measured at 60 inches, is spanning straight out to the width of those 3x4s. So it's just going to be 3 inches shorter on the top. As I was discussing before, I wanted to show you the brace that we're going to put under the sideboards right here. This is just going to screw right up underneath it. I'm going to put a few screws into there just to hold it so it sits on that like a shelf, and since we're not actually notching and putting this into 4x4, that way it's not just hanging on the shear strength of these screws, but also on the block of wood below it. On the inside, I'm going ahead and adding a diagonal piece just to add the lateral stability. Put 2 right in the top there and 2 right in from the front. Used the hole puncher for the Craig jig to get in deeper right there, and that way I was reaching all the way through because I only had 2.5 inch screws. Bam! There it is. All I gotta do is load wood up on it. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and leave a comment for me, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button up in the corner. Thanks. Never stop creating, guys. I'll see you next time.